What up, y'all? Welcome to another episode of ATS Fight. Got my brothers here with me, Andre Berto. I got my other brother, Andre Dirrell here. Not gonna waste no time. I'm gonna get straight to it. My little brother, Shakur Stevenson, he just fought July 6th. Did what he had to do to win. I'll get into the details of the fight in a second, but post-fight, it's a lot of chatter online. You know, a lot of people coming for him, and for whatever reason, Shakur wasn't having it. So he been shooting back at pretty much everybody, shots being fired all over the place. And somebody in this room decided to get involved in the fight, right? Like y'all hit me and said, man, talk to him. I said, we already talked. I said, Shakur is grown, man. He got to figure this out. He know I'm here if he needs me, but I'm gonna stay out the way right now. Then the next day I look up,
boy,
and it's a firestorm between Berto and Shakur from a tweet that you put up. What was that about? What was your heart behind the tweet, and how did it go left?
Please tell me.
Need some answers, brother.
Man, quickly.
I mean, like I said, just being OG in the game now.
Yeah, you 40, bro.
Yeah, I'm 40 now. That's crazy.
Showing OG.
That's crazy.
Ain't
Still
nothing wrong with it, man.
Still looking good, though. You hear me? You know, I seen everything that was transpiring online. And I see them going at everybody. Yeah, and that's one thing that, we need to make clear. Listen, I understand. I understand his frustration or the fact that he was upset to a sense. Because, listen, I don't care what they say. Yeah, this fight game is business, but this shit is personal for us, too. We've been doing this since we've been kids.
Don't nobody like you talking about their work.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't care who you are.
You know what I mean? And like I say, all of us went through it. I went through that stage too when I was a lot younger. But just me seeing that, I'm like, cool. I'm gonna show some love to my man. I put it out there in the way like, listen, bro, don't get out of character. Don't let these people try to bully you online. The game is fickle, but still try to sit back and understand what they are saying, but take it in your own way. And look at your game and be like, okay, I kind of see what's going on. Because it still is the entertainment business. It is. But like I said, the game is fickle. You go out here and you put on another great performance,
Forget all about
they're
it.
going to be right back on the bandwagon.
So he
That's
shot.
how I put it out there.
But that was your heart behind it.
That was my heart behind it.
But then he shot back,
Oh, Lord.
and then it just went.
Oh, Lord.
If you had to go back and read it all
I
over
get-
again, what do you
listen.
think it was that sparked
I don't
his
know.
response?
I don't know. Like I said, I called him. I'm like, man, you need to read this tweet and make sure I'm not tripping.
Mm.
You know what I mean?
So when I first read it, I kind of glanced at it. I'm like, yeah, it didn't seem too bad. But then I reread it, and me and you talk, right? I feel like, and I believe this is Shakur's biggest issue, is that by making it public, you became another one of the voices that's critiquing it, right? So the iron is hot right now, it's sensitive, like, and then when you tell a fighter they're getting bullied, they're not gonna like that. When you say things like, again, this is public, right? Public statement. Yeah. When you say things like, listen to what they saying, it is the entertainment business, right or wrong, just hear me out. Right or wrong, I'm just saying, being in his shoes, I understand how he could take that a certain type of way. Like, hold on, you in the crowd with the boo birds now. You with them now. And if you really wanted to get at me, you could have got at me in the DM. I believe that's his thing.
Well, first off, I don't have that personal relationship with Shakur like you have. Like, you can just hit him up and you just have those conversations. Yes, we have somewhat of a relationship because we talk, we trained together before.
Well, y'all done sparred before.
We done sparred before, you know what I mean?
He been in your camp.
You know what I mean? Like, to that sense. So, for me putting that message out, in the public, because everything was happening in the public, that message just didn't just go to him just for him. I wanted all the other fighters, all the other young fighters to see that message and kind of take from that. Like, okay, the OG say, okay, cool. Like, you know what I mean? Like, don't crash out. You know what I mean? This is the game. Everybody would listen. Everybody that gets in this game, we all want to be that guy. We all want everybody to know our name. We want everybody to see our fights and think that we're the best. But it's a lot that comes with that too. So if you have a performance that people may not like, you're gonna get that same amount of criticism as well. You know what I mean? But like I said, I understand. He's young, but we just had to duke it out a little bit.
But as an OG in the game,
yeah,
right? Kicking sound advice to someone nearly half your age, right? We just gotta keep it a bug.
Yeah, for sure.
Keep it a bug like Chuck on the pickup truck.
Okay, so go ahead.
The most important thing has to be the message, right?
Of course.
Right. If you're my son
and the method.
And I'm gonna get to that. Relax.
I didn't think nothing came.
I got you. I
don't think nothing negative came from that
but
message. That's the thing, bro.
Listen. Right? The most important thing is the message, right? And how you deliver that message. So listen, if you're my son, I'm gonna tell you like it is, not how I feel like it's gonna protect you. I gotta give it to you raw because this word is gonna give it to you the same way, right? You, on the other hand, was kicking game to someone in a fight game, right? Based off what you have been throughout this game, right? If you had the chance to do it all over again, would you have said it differently?
No.
Would you have made it private?
No, because I think, that message wasn't just for him. It was for everybody else that is that young superstar coming up that has that potential. Shakur, that's one thing about this game. He just needs to understand that he is getting the criticism that he's getting because we see so much potential in him. Same with me.
Fighters.
Same with you. We got the heat that we got when we didn't show up like people expected us to because of the potential that they seen in us. It's a lot of talk about Shakur. He's the next this. He may be the one to knock off Tank. He this. So of course, if he has a performance that people are like, about, they're gonna say it and he gonna hear the heat of it. But at the same time, once he goes out there and put on a hell of a performance the next go, they're gonna be right back like he's just the second coming.
But in this situation, you was a sheep among the rest, right?
Never
in
sheep,
all of
right.
No, I'm just saying it in this I'm saying it in this form, in this fashion. You was throwing darts.
I wasn't throwing darts,
because
bro.
you jumped in with the rest of the sheep. He felt like you was throwing darts too. Like,
everybody else was heavily criticizing him. Oh, you this, you that. You
I know, right?
That
and
wasn't
then you
the
come
case.
with this passive-aggressive line.
It wasn't passive-aggressive.
No, like, see, you say it wasn't, bro.
It
I'm
wasn't.
telling you, this is how we saw it. This is how he had to see it.
That's the only.
If it was all
that's the
knowledge,
way he saw it.
Exactly.
Because I seen a lot of other
and that's
news.
why I asked you if you would have said it differently.
The way I seen all the other news, they didn't understand why he barked off like he did. You know what I mean? From everything else I read. So it just let me understand, just put me back in my, 22-year-old, place and body. Like, okay, cool.
Yeah, he took you back to Polk County.
He took me back to Polk County. You know what I mean? So
you got Hollywood Burt when he out here, and then you got Polk County Burt in Florida. He took him back to Polk County.
He took me back to Polk County. The first day, I left it alone.
Yeah.
The first day, cool. I dropped the tweet out. He came back with something. Then I said, listen, bro, I literally said I didn't try to disrespect you.
Yeah.
I didn't want, you know what I'm saying? But, you know what I mean, skate easy. I called y'all talked me off the ledge. I said, you right. God been working on me.
Yeah.
I'm good to go. Left it alone. Next day, I'm eating with my daughter. You know what I mean? Chilling, having a good time. 2:30 in the afternoon, minding my business. I got a DM from him. That's when I looked at it a different type of way. Once I got that DM, because now it feels personal.
Man, I get it, man. Me as a brother to both of y'all, I don't like it, bro. And I don't like it because it's cool to give the fans a little bit of the rah-rah.
Yeah,
it's cool to give the fans a little bit of excitement, but they expect that from us. You know what I mean? And I understand that things can go off the rails, but my thing is, man, do we show them getting it back on track? And it don't mean that y'all got to be cool. It don't mean that y'all got to kick it. And
that's the thing. I see him as a great, amazing talent. But that's not taking nothing away from him as a fighter, ever.
I think we got to learn, though, like people want to tune in for the ignorance, but they don't. We got to show them the the elevation.
For
That's
sure.
that real talk
That
right
that
there.
I can put my pride to the side and I can say, young bud, look, man, if you took it a certain type of way, I apologize for that, bro. Like, I didn't mean it that way, but I see being in your shoes how you would have maybe received a direct message different than a public situation. Even though I wasn't thinking like that, I hear you. And then as the younger fighter, he got a responsibility too to own some of his stuff.
For sure.
And I think that's the elevation that people got to see. I don't care what they want to see.
Yeah.
I think that's what they need to see at the end of the day. But that, this conversation, man, I believe y'all gonna get that right. I done talked to both of y'all, man, and I'm trying to broker a deal. I'm trying to get y'all back to at least neutral.
Man.
Y'all ain't gotta be best friends, but gotta get y'all back to a decent place.
Man, and I knew he had the right people behind him too. His team, Bud on top of that, he had the right people already kicking the knowledge he needed to
But
hear.
people gotta understand something. People blowing my phone up, hitting me on Instagram, Twitter. They hitting Butter, do something. Listen, Shakur is grown with a whole child at home.
Yeah, that's a fact.
We talk and have plenty of conversations that'll never come on camera. But you gotta allow him to figure some things out.
Yeah.
He knows how to
Yeah.
pick up the phone if he wants to pick up the phone. And then at the
Yeah.
right time, you're able to have further conversations. So,
Yeah.
that's just that. But this takes me to a deeper conversation because I've heard younger fighters say, oh, the older generation, man, they don't do nothing but hate. Then you got the older generation saying, y'all don't listen.
Yeah.
How we bridge that gap?
I don't like to identify, bro, with anyone, or I don't like to, in other words, conform, right? I think as an older generation, we got a responsibility to speak up, right? And so how I get down there to their level, not, level-wise. I want to reach them at their age that they're at right now, right? This is a discussion we have amongst each other. If one old head or, older fighter can meet up with one younger one, figure out how we can come together and start having these conversations privately. Again, maybe we do this behind closed doors, have this conversation, but what we need to help them understand is we're trying to give them game that we didn't have at their age coming up. And this is all I'm sure everybody wants them to realize who's in our position. You know what I'm saying? So how we reach that gap, we would have to sit down and have that conversation.
On both sides, we don't need to try to be ignorant in the spaces that we're in a way of saying that the younger generation, they don't need to be ignorant on trying to understand where we coming from. And us, we don't need to be ignorant in everything that they understand. We need to be able to be open-minded. We need to be able to have these conversations. We need to, if it comes to, that way they dress, the way they, like music they listen to, all these different things. We need to be open to it all so we can understand them more. You know what I mean? And at the same time, when it comes to the younger generation as well, they need to sit back, they need to, probably watch old tapes like we dinosaurs and understand that, you know what I mean? Like when it comes to everything that we went through, why we are saying the things that we're saying. So it just needs to be those type of conversations, without coming with any type of like real malice at all. You know what I mean?
It has to be respect both ways.
Of course, it has to be.
The older generation can't look at the younger generation. Oh, y'all young bucks don't know nothing.
Yeah.
And the younger generation can't look up and be like, man, y'all don't know nothing. That was in your day.
Yeah.
It's got to be respect both ways. And I think the criticism that's out there for both generations is true. Not completely, but I think it's a lot of that. I think it is some older generation hating on the younger. They making more money than you made. The budget was different, brother, when you was fighting versus when he fighting.
That's a fact.
They out there shining and you feeling the way out there, right?
Right.
But then some of the younger generation, because they shining and doing their thing, you can't tell them nothing.
Yeah,
right?
man.
But we used to be there at one point in
heavy.
time. So I think for me being in my position, I try to be sensitive about when I speak. I try not to give any type of criticism or just even conversation to somebody who don't want it. Now, it's different in my position. Been commentating for years. Obviously building out this platform right here, I'm going to speak. I'm going to say what I need to say. Just like I was a warrior in that ring, I'm going to be a warrior behind this mic, but not in the sense of trying to take nothing from you or trying to down you. When I speak, even though it may not feel like it, I'm just speaking for me. I look at it as a speak up. I'm not speaking down to you. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I love
and
that.
it ain't no hate in my heart. I don't want what you got.
That's a fact.
I'm good with what I did and what I left a lot. So I'm not really tripping. It's really just to say, man, I think you got a blind spot, big dog. It's a little something I see right there. Man, you may want to try this. And I just think, man, we got to keep trying, because the issue is when both generations shut the door and cut off communication, it's not good, man. I think we have a lot to give the youngsters, and I think the youngsters actually have a lot to give us too.
I believe that's a fact. I mean, just like my man said the other day, like I was telling you, sometimes when you get to preaching to these young boys, they block it off quick. You know what I mean? You just got to understand them and just meet them where they're at.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Have those type of conversations.
Because we needed that. We look back at our 20-year-old self and I'm like, boy, you was tripping.
Out of there.
Boy, you was tripping.
Out of there.
Like, I'm so glad I made it through.
Out of there.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I think about the older voices that I had that maybe I wasn't listening to, or maybe I was struggling to listen to, and now I'm like, he was right. So sometimes listening can save you a whole lot of trouble, a whole lot of money, and it'll help you avoid some of these pitfalls.
Yeah.
And then when the youngers are talking too, we gotta listen too, because that's the young life. They stomping in territories we not stomping in right now. So man, let me get up to speed of what's going on and how you thinking, and then we can come together and have a meeting.
It's their territory as well. That's why I say the boxing game is what it was when we was fighting, right? Now the boxing game is a whole different playing field, and they know, for the most part, what it is, right? Now, how we come, that's why we need to come together and start having those conversations. But promoters doing it like this now, managers doing it like this now, fighters carry themselves like this now. You know what I'm saying? So y'all kicking us, giving us information that we need, and then on the flip side, we giving you information on what you need.
So being that all that it says, it's a beautiful conversation.
Mm-hmm.
You gonna get that thing right? But you gonna get that thing right? Because you listen, when I look at your social media page, I see a lot of positivity.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I see a lot of stuff about
I'm a changed man now. God been working on me.
So that's a yes?
We gonna see.
All right. God keep working on it.
Yeah, keep working.
We gonna see, man.